Financial manipulation isn't always some big, dramatic event like a stolen credit card. More often, it's a quiet whisper, a series of suggestions that slowly chips away at your confidence and your control. And a lot of the time, it's even disguised as love or concern. So today, we're going to pull back that curtain and break down the manipulator's playbook, sign by sign. I want you to think about your recent money conversations. Do they feel open, collaborative? Or do you ever get that weird feeling that you're just reading lines in someone else's play, where your financial future has already been written for you? To really get what that feeling is about, we need to define what's actually happening here. At its core, this whole thing is about one word: control. This isn't just a simple disagreement over the grocery budget. No, it's a calculated pattern of behavior. It's designed specifically to shift power and money from you to them, by turning your own emotions and your trust into weapons against you. All right, let's get right into the signs. We're going to start our countdown from the end with the really subtle shifts. These are the ones that are so easy to overlook, the quiet first steps in what can become a much bigger, much more damaging pattern. Okay, sign number 11. They create this fake sense of urgency. All of a sudden, every single financial decision is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and you have to act now. This tactic isn't about smart timing, it's about creating panic to short-circuit your rational brain. They're using that fear of missing out to push you into a quick yes that, surprise, surprise, benefits them. So, you've laid out a budget, you feel good about it, but lately it just seems to change. You start hearing these casual comments, like, "Oh, that's a smart purchase," or, "This seems a little wasteful, don't you think?" And before you know it, your financial priorities have slowly morphed into their priorities, all while they make you think the ideas were yours to begin with. And here we go, a classic emotional power play. The moment you hold firm on a financial boundary, like saying no to a big, unplanned purchase, they whip out the guilt. They weaponize your connection to make you feel like you're being disloyal. A simple budget decision suddenly becomes a test of the entire relationship. Now, this one is huge. Information control. They're the ones managing the big picture. The joint accounts, the investments, the debts. But you only ever get tiny fragments of the story. If you ask her details and you hear, "Don't worry about it, I've got it," that is a massive red flag. They're controlling the narrative by controlling the data. You starting to see a pattern here? That smart investment you made? Oh, that was just luck. But their smart investment, well, that's proof of their financial genius. Look, this isn't just about bragging rights. It's a systematic effort to dismantle your financial confidence, making you feel like you absolutely need their so-called superior guidance for every little decision. So now we're moving into the more direct power plays. As the manipulator gets more comfortable, those subtle suggestions start to fade away, and they get replaced by really overt, undeniable acts of control over your money and your choices. They've got this fantastic, can't-miss investment idea for you. They'll encourage you to take these huge financial leaps while their own money stays safely tucked away. This double standard tells you everything you need to know. They want all of the potential reward, but they want you to shoulder all of the risk. What started out as helpful advice is now just constant surveillance. They question every small purchase you make. They want to approve every single decision. And it's all under this guise of, "I just want what's best for us." This isn't helpfulness. It's a slow-motion takeover of your financial freedom, one transaction at a time. Oh, they can be so generous, right? Covering bills, offering you big loans. But those gifts, they come with invisible strings attached. The second you push back on something, that generosity gets thrown in your face. It creates this manufactured sense of obligation that keeps you quiet and compliant. Real support builds your independence. It doesn't create a debt of gratitude. Hey, whatever happened to your dream of starting a business? Or that trip you wanted to take? Slowly, your personal ambitions get reframed as unrealistic or maybe even selfish. Your goals just fade into the background as their vision takes center stage. This ensures your resources are always aligned with their long-term plans, not yours. Oh man, this one is incredibly damaging. You remember a financial agreement with perfect clarity. You bring it up, just stating the fact as you know it. You are absolutely certain about this conversation. And there it is, the switch. They deny it, they twist it, they rewrite history right in front of you, until you start to question your own memory, your own sanity. Financial gaslighting is designed to make you doubt your competence so much that you eventually just give up and let them make all the decisions. And here we are at the number one sign. They actively discourage you from talking to anyone else about money. Family, friends, a financial advisor. They'll say things like, oh, they just don't understand our situation. And this isolation is absolutely crucial for them. By cutting you off from any outside perspective, their voice becomes the only one you hear, giving them absolute, unfiltered control. So, when you step back and you look at all of these signs together, it's pretty clear this isn't about a few isolated incidents. It's about a consistent, calculated pattern, and it's all designed to strip you of your financial autonomy. This right here, this is the playbook. It thrives in silence, in emotional fog, and in confusion. By creating urgency, exploiting your guilt, isolating you, and tearing down your confidence, a manipulator systematically builds dependency. But recognizing the playbook, that's the first step to closing the book on it for good. Ultimately, it really all comes down to this one question. Recognizing these patterns isn't about placing blame. It's about reclaiming your power.